Hello everybody, and today is March 28th. It's Friday. Welcome to Enjoy the Movies, where I now put in my 2 cents about movies. Now, I do want to go over a handful of movies. There's this one movie that I watched last week that I want to talk about, Kite Runner. And then I watched 3 of them last night, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Prairie Fever, and Sweeny Todd. So definitely want to talk about all those. So anyway, let's just jump right in and talk about Kite Runner. This movie, it's pretty much a drama movie. There's really nothing else I can classify it. The first half of the movie is kind of like a foreign movie. Second half becomes more of like a highly dramatic movie. Reminded me somewhat of Guide to Recognizing Your Saints, which was also a good movie. So overall, I definitely thought that Kite Runner is worth a watch. I believe it starts out with 2 boys in Afghanistan, and what ends up happening is the 2 of them, they're great friends, but one of them is of a higher social class than the other, and there's a couple plot twists later in the movie, and there's this running theme of kites, and some of the kite scenes were really cool because it actually shows some of the techniques that they're using to fight in kite competitions, which basically, I guess, they're trying to use their own kite to cut down other people's kites, and that was really cool. And so that's that. First half of the movie mostly takes place in the past with 2 boys in Afghanistan. Most of the second half of the movie takes place also in Afghanistan, except for a small chunk that takes place in America. Now, you'll kind of see parts jump back and forth, but it's very easy to follow and not too taxing, and it's very well done. It's a movie about, I would probably say, friendship. So there's a big theme of that, but don't be misled, because it seems like there's 2 boys on the cover, it might be good for the family. No, it's PG-13, and there's a lot of violence in it, especially towards the end. So anyway, definitely recommend Kite Runner. It's very good. Not quite for younger people, and not quite for the people who like slow movies, but this is a very good, well done, excellent movie, so definitely recommend. Alright, next movie I want to talk about is Alvin and the Chipmunks. Now, I was a huge fan of Alvin and the Chipmunks way back when, when the cartoon, not the original cartoon, but the more refined, I think, 80s, 90s cartoon. So, anyway, if that's any reference point, I didn't think this was going to be good. I wasn't sure if it was going to compare to that. Now, after watching the entire movie, it's basically the origin story of how Dave Seville finds the 3 chipmunks, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, and discovers them singing. So that's pretty much that. They get into a little bit of drama just so they can have a theme for, like, the family aspect of the movie. And it was really cheesy and not that great. I don't want to say it was terrible. I want to say it was mostly just okay, but it was not a good movie. So it's definitely not a good movie. Definitely don't quite recommend it unless, you got little kids and they're willing to watch basically anything. Special effects were okay. Like, most of the chipmunks, you definitely knew they were pretty much CGI. I mean, I suppose, how are you going to make it look realistic? But, I know that they could have made it look better. So, anyway. I want to say Alvin and the Chipmunks doesn't quite get a thumbs down, but it definitely does not get a thumbs up. So I'd probably say don't watch it unless there are little kids around, or you really love Alvin and the Chipmunks and you want to see how they how they innovated with this new movie. So that's Alvin and the Chipmunks. Definitely don't recommend. This next movie I just want to go over really quick. It's called Prairie Fever. Now, the only reason why I grabbed it is because it's new, coming out next week, and Kevin Sorbo's in it, and, just by virtue of Kevin Sorbo being in it, it's probably going to be a bad movie. And so there's this production studio on the back of the cover. I forgot what it was. I didn't even strike a bell. I'd never seen it before. So I definitely wasn't expecting much out of this movie. It's kind of like this really weird, bad, girly version of 3:10 to Yuma. So basically it's about this guy, played by Kevin Sorbo. He was an ex-cop. They build up some character behind him. He has to escort 4 girls to a train to get him to, the crazy hospital or whatever, because they're all crazy. And stuff goes down, but for the entire first half of the movie, it almost seems like just the girls run away with the movie because they take over, and it's dumb. It's not interesting. There was this one scene early off where there was this fight in a bar. Somebody goes to swing at Kevin Sorbo with a club, and if you watch carefully, you can definitely tell that this supposedly stiff wooden thing was actually rubber because it bent over his shoulder. And they used that clip in the movie. I mean, what's so hard about retaking that shot? I mean, they probably could have just done it and then cut it in, and it's so bad. Anyway, Prairie Fever definitely gets a thumbs down. The one thing that was okay was the plot twist in there, but it wasn't that much of a surprise, so yeah, it was bad. Just, no, forget it. Prairie Fever, thumbs down, straight up. If you're a Kevin Sorbo fan, you'll probably be disappointed anyway, so don't worry about it. I mean, I like Kevin Sorbo and I like Andromeda and stuff, and Hercules, but I don't think he's quite cut out for... He reminds me of Dean Cain, like, crazy, ridiculous, sarcastic, cheesy humor actor, but not cut out for, like, serious movies, so... Which I feel that this movie's trying to be, and it shouldn't have been. Alright, last movie I want to talk about. This is probably the big one for the week, my personal opinion, coming out on DVD. Sweeny Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. So I just call it Sweeny Todd. I don't know the subtitle, but it stars Johnny Depp. It's a Tim Burton movie done in a Tim Burton-esque kind of environment. So very dark, very I don't know how to describe it. It's just dark, black, shades of colors. You might see as similar to like Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's got a feel like that. Now there's a lot of special effects in this movie. I was actually surprised because sometimes when the camera takes a pan through the city, they'll like CGI a lot of that stuff, and that looked pretty good. A lot of the blood was CGI. Oh, so if you don't know roughly the plot, it's basically about this guy who becomes a barber, and all he does is shave people, so he doesn't really cut hair, and he kills people. Now, there's actually some reasons why he's doing this. I won't quite tell the exact details, but basically there's another person involved. His past is involved, and a girl, or two or three girls, and a little boy. So, anyway, pretty much it's all very intricate, but when you find out, like, how he deals with the dead bodies, it's like, what? And, so overall, I thought the movie was actually very good. And then the ending just kind of seals the deal. It was just like, oh my god, whoa, that's ridiculous. Now, I was looking at Sweeny Todd, and it seems like, I did some quick research, and he just seems like he's one of those anti-heroes, like, he's doing bad things, but you kind of feel for him for some reason. And I don't know, I think this movie kind of does that very well. Music, forgot to mention, this movie is a musical. Very important, just so you know. So it's kind of tough to understand all the dialogue, but for the most part, if you pick up some words here and there, you can understand the context, seeing what's on the screen. So, Sweeny Todd, musical, dark, it's almost like a drama thriller because of some of the events that are unfolding, and it's very well done. It's very good. Not quite for everyone though, because A, if you hate musicals, definitely don't watch it. B, if you hate Johnny Depp, obviously don't watch it because he's the main character. If you don't like, dark things or Tim Burton or a lot of killing and blood and guts, don't watch it. And yeah, but other than that, if you don't mind watching something with all those things and it being pretty good, I definitely recommend. So, Sweeny Todd, Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Alright, so anyway, that wraps up the movies for today. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and have a good night. Enjoy the movies.